As promised, here's our NHL analyst, Martin Biron, to talk about this Game 3 loss by the Edmonton Oilers. And for Stuart Skinner, who is really good, Marty, the last few games, gives up those 4 goals on 21 shots, including that go-ahead goal on the Robertson hat trick that you know he'd love to have back. Does he just need to be better for the Oilers to win Game 4?
Obviously, he has to be better. There's no doubt about it. And Stuart Skinner would say that himself. Now, I was texting with a goalie friend of mine. It says Stuart Skinner is frantic in net, and he was pretty much all game. And that's not a good thing because I feel like Skinner was chasing the game pretty much from the second period on, right? The first period was easy. The Oilers dominated, but then in the second period, he started to chase the game. He's 6'4", 230. He should never be caught outside of his crease. Look at how far he chases on the Wyatt Johnston goal that made it 3-2. Now he's still recovered and made a couple of big saves. The one on Marchment, one in the slot. This is late in the second. That's at 3-2, 3-3, so that's big. But there's no doubt that he cannot give that goal up the way that he did on Jason Robertson. Just a bad anchor on the post. He went skate on post instead of toe bridge or even leg on post in that situation and got caught. So I remember when I was with the Rangers, Benny Allaire, the goalie guru, goalie coach there, used to say, once you give up 2 goals, you can't give up the third one. And if you give up the third one, you don't want to give up the fourth one. And I feel like that's the mindset Stuart Skinner needed to have. And I know it sounds easy, but that's a mindset you need to work on. And he didn't have that mindset in this game, and it kept on going. So the third and fourth goal for me, definitely an impact on the game, and something that as a goaltender, as Stuart Skinner, it can't happen. You can't chase the game, and you can't give up the bad one, the game-winning goal.
And we wondered what kind of an impact Roope Hintz would have, Marty, making his debut in this series. Well, he gets 2 assists, but more importantly, Jason Robertson on a mega scoring slump suddenly has a hat trick. Cannot be a coincidence, can it?
It is not a coincidence. Like, they have a slow first period, but it's going to be obvious for Roope Hintz that he needs to get in game rhythm, which he did in the second period, and got his buddy Jason Robertson going. Robertson was goalless in 10 games. It wasn't since the Vegas series. Still hadn't scored a goal in the Colorado and in this one. And you look at the play, that line with Tyler Seguin, which is a line we didn't see a whole lot earlier in the playoffs, but the play, the cycle, the puck possession, that was important. And they did that mostly against the McDavid line. We all know McDavid line was good in the first period, but the second period, you could see that the Robertson, Hintz, and Seguin line really had the puck possession, had the chances, and they got going. So that is a luxury. We all know that, look, in Game 2, there was a chance Hintz was maybe going to come back, and Pete DeBoer says, we'll see him in Edmonton, either Game 3 or Game 4. Well, Game 3 was the right call for Dallas, and their depth is once again on display because that line got reunited.
So the Stars reclaim home ice advantage. Marty, what do the Oilers have to do to even the series up on Wednesday night in Game 4?
Well, it's pretty easy for me. There's 2 things. One is their power play has to get going. They're 0 for 5. And 5 power plays is not a lot in 3 games for the Edmonton Oilers, but it's still a donut, a bagel, a shutout on the power play, and that can't happen. I know they got a power play early in the game at 1-0. They still managed to go up 2-0. They got one at 3-2. You may want to see a goal there. They still got it to 3-3, but I feel like the power play needs to get a goal. That's important. And the second thing, and now this is 2 games in a row, where you play a great first period, and then it falls apart in the second period. And Dallas is that type of team that can come back. So make sure, regardless of how the first period goes, make sure that the second period is good. The long change, right? Knobloch has talked about we stay too long on the ice. The Oilers had 8 players that averaged 50 seconds or more per shift, where Dallas only 3 players, 50 seconds or more per shift. That's a second period problem. You overextend your shift. You can't get to the bench because it's the long change. That is so important. Keep your shifts short, especially in the second period.
It has now been almost 20 years since the Edmonton Oilers have won a conference final game on home ice. Hasn't happened since 2006. They'll try to break that drought on Wednesday night at home in Game 4. Marty, thanks for this.